We do MLS offers, um, referrals, and um, bird dogs. So, I kind of have to, I guess, center, and then I do pre-foreclosure marketing. I love owner finance, and I really want to have an owner finance company. So I really just have to sit down and say, what do I really, what's going to be my niche?
Right. And it's okay that you spend, it's okay that you spend this year or even 2018 trying out the different niches and then settle on one.
Mhm.
And when I say one, it doesn't have to be like, so for example, direct mail is one of my favorites
Right.
because it's pretty hands off for me. Like,
Mhm.
I have a company, they pulled the list for me, they send out the direct mail, and so I just need an acquisition person to go on the appointments,
Right.
right? So I like that. I used to do a lot of foreclosures, but what I stopped doing foreclosures is because most people would only contact me too close to the auction, which caused a lot of chaos in my company.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So now I don't do foreclosures anymore. It's because I don't care for all my business to be the week of the foreclosure,
Right. Right.
right? And people in foreclosures are not the easiest people to work with. you know?
Right. Man, that's what I've been telling, man. I've been saying this to my girlfriend, like, hey, I stopped doing foreclosures because of the stress that the foreclosure people and just the whole environment creates.
Yeah,
They want to call you 2 days before the auction, and then they're not the most intelligent
yeah,
people you're dealing with. They're really deadbeats.
yeah, exactly. So that's the reason why I got out of the foreclosure, and so you know, and then vacant, um, you know, vacant. I used to do I started my wholesaling with vacant, and the reason why I got out of that, the I got out of the vacant niche was it was just too hard to. It was very hard to scale, and now with technology, it gets easier.
Mhm.
Because back then there was no vacant house list. I mean, you would have to just drive for dollars. That's it. Like there's, um, and yeah, and so with technology nowadays, I mean, it is easier to do vacant for sure, but it requires more human kind of work.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and I used to do a lot of internet marketing too, and I stopped because my cost per deal on internet marketing is too high,
I see.
right? So for me, like right now, the I like the MOS offers a lot, but it's limit in how many deals I can do,
Right.
and my profit per deal on the MOS is generally much less than my profit per deal on direct mail.
Absolutely. Mhm.
So you know, so the the MOS, the direct mail, those are my two major sources of deals right now. One, I mean, I love the MOS one the most because it's so automated. It's awesome.
Right. Mhm.
um, and yeah, and then the direct mail because it makes me more money. Um,
Mhm.
you know, I'm getting into vacant again, but from a different perspective. Because
I see.
now I actually created a purpose for my vacant properties,
Oh, okay.
right? And so for example, I before I met with you, I was meeting with a friend of mine who runs one of the Habitat for Humanity here in Houston,
Mhm.
and he's looking at because he's an employee for Habitat, so he knows that formula really well. But he said that there's a lot of things that they do that he doesn't like, and he wants to start his own nonprofit.
Okay. Okay.
And Habitat builds new homes. So they buy land, they buy a tract of land, and build brand new homes on it.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I created I brainstormed with him on a model that instead of buying land and build new homes, that he would buy these vacant properties from me
Mm.
and remodel the homes and put those families in. So
Mm.
so the houses would be cheaper than if they bought those houses brand new. And
Right.
we turn what is an eyesore for the neighborhood that affects the value of the neighborhood into something productive that will pay taxes to the city, and provide a home for a family. So now vacant is has a completely different meaning for me.
Yeah.
I'm no longer doing vacant for money. I'm doing vacant to beautify the neighborhood and like really to add value to the community.
Absolutely.
Um, and so yeah, and I haven't like fully got back into the vacant stuff yet. Like it's just sort of the beginning of that process.
Mhm.
Um, you know, so I mean, and out of all of those formulas, all of those different strategies, if you look, the direct mail has always been the one that is like most proven,
Right.
um,
Right.
and scalable. And then, the internet marketing would be right after direct mail. It's just your cost per deal is higher.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, you
Internet
know,
marketing right after direct mail.
yeah. And so if you have your profit per deal increase, it can make sense for your uh for example, if you average $15,000 for a wholesale fee, and your internet marketing costs you 5,000, well, you're still making 10,
Right.
right? So that's not bad. But if your average profit per deal is only 15,000, it costs you 5 grand. Well, now that those numbers are not that sexy anymore,
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and so that's how I decide like what do I choose. I always choose easiness first. First and foremost, I
Right.
choose ease. How easy is it? How easy is it to automate? How easy is the process? How less of a headache? Peace of mind is very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if it's a business that is either too complicated, too stressful, even if it makes more money, I shy away from them, because it's like you know that's not the kind of business I want to build.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
um but for some people, they don't mind doing that, right? Like I have friends that wear guns to go collect rent. Like, I don't
Right.
want to be in that kind of business.
Not at all.
But they love it because they make like their cash flow like crazy, outrageous amount.
Right.
But yeah, so it's yeah. So just give yourself, I say give yourself 2017, 2018, to fine tune in, what you want. But yeah, and I think at a minimum, learn to get really good with direct mail.
So I haven't really started a direct mail campaign
Hmm.
uh, before. So that's something that I've neglected. A lot of the big you know successful investors, it always go back to direct mail. and I haven't started that yet. You know, I because um, you know, I haven't been able to acclimate or I said the wrong word, allocate my funds um, correctly in order to put that money towards marketing
Right.
for direct mail and being consistent. Because I know with direct mail, it's about being consistent.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's so it is a discipline, and you know, like, and in your market especially, I would say, you know, allocate at least 25%. So when when you do a wholesale deal, you make 10 grand. First thing first is put 25, $100 away to reinvest into your marketing.
Okay.
Okay. And you can practice that if you want, in terms of like, okay, I'm going to see if I can make this work, like put aside this money. And if you can, then that's when you start you can start the direct mail. So you can start out, you can start out and do what you do right now, just hustle it, make money wherever you can. And then as soon as you can start putting aside 25% from each deals that you do, then then getting into direct mail will become easier for you.
Okay.
Yeah. um, and whether it's 15% or 25%, it depends a lot on the market and what type of list that you mail to and stuff. But um, but yeah, I mean, if you can start, even if you start with just 20%, do that, whatever you can. And at some point you just got to not give yourself the option not to do direct mail.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And I mean, of course direct mail has its risk too. It's not all gravy. but but overall it's just something that's been proven for so long that it's like, direct mail is like the most fail safe kind of strategy, and very scalable.
Yeah.
Uh,
Definitely.
yeah. So yeah. So do yeah. So as like for example, maybe a good example for you might be like this: how you're splitting 50-50 with me on your first three deals. So it could be that on your fourth deal and on, you pretend like you're still um, splitting with me, but that 50% just goes toward your marketing and expansion.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
So yeah, so you just gotta figure out to make it work with the other 50%, or 75% even. I mean, you gotta pay increase. But yeah, you gotta treat it like that. It's a must. It's like the same way you treat splitting with me as a must, you gotta treat your marketing as a must, like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I like that. And I'll actually implement that. Because I've been hard on myself the past couple weeks, just because I haven't been saving. I don't have a savings put up to either invest, go half with another investor, or do marketing, or whatever the case may be that could provide more opportunity for me. So I've been like really telling myself, I gotta get better, I gotta save more, I gotta you know be more disciplined when it just self-discipline.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just realize that there's no sense in beating yourself up like that. That won't make a difference at all.
Right.
It's like people who worry. It's like it makes no sense because it doesn't help anything, right? And a lot of time it's an excuse to not do it.
Mm.
Like being upset at yourself for not doing it actually gives you an excuse to not do it.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah. So when you find yourself, beating yourself up, you just say, all right, well, instead of beating myself up about it, like what is one action I can take? All right, I can commit to putting away $1,000 a deal,
Yeah.
you know, and if I have trouble, I'm gonna give it to someone that I trust that will hold up money for me. That their instruction is to not give it back to me no matter how I beg.
Right.
Right. um so yeah, so try, um yeah, so try that. And yeah, let me think here what else I can do to guide you around savings. I mean, it's just one of those things that you know most of us haven't been, we haven't been taught growing up to manage our money.
Right. Right.
And and so you do want to give yourself grace, like this is just not saving and not putting money aside is just a very built-in habit that you've had for however many years, right?
Mhm.
And and so starting budgeting, starting putting money aside, those are just new muscle. It's still new to you, but it's just like how you learn to do real estate. That's a new muscle that you're going to learn to do as well.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
yeah, and so just start, yeah, start it small, start something, um and go from there. um a um a good book to read on that, it's called Profit First.
Profit first.
Profit First. Now his strategy might, uh to me, it's a little bit overkill,
Okay.
but
Hmm.
it speaks into it. But basically, he would have a bank account for everything separately. So he'll have a separate bank account for marketing, has a separate bank account for payroll, has a separate bank account for operations, a separate bank account for income, separate bank account for normal expenses. So he would have like 6 different bank accounts. And he keeps them all separately so that way he can see them and track them separately. Oh, you know what? I just thought of something. Um, you know, one of the mindset shift that you can take on. You know how, like, as entrepreneurs, we love to hunt for a new deal.
Right. Yeah.
We love to make money, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So now we want to, and the way that we look at our bank account a lot of time is like, oh, there's money there, I get to spend it, right? So a
Hey,
mindset. Hello.
Tim,
Uh-huh.
hold on 1 second. I'm gonna make sure I'm out public.
Okay.
All right.
All right, you good now? Hello.
You hear me?
I can hear you. Uh-huh.
Okay, great. All right. I think that's better.
Okay, cool. um where was I?
You were saying the mindset
Oh,
shift that
right.
we like good leads. Now take that mindset set and you were about to explain.
Right. So yeah, so the same mindset that we have about making money. We love making money. And and here's our bank account. Whenever we look at a bank account, we look at, oh, we have money to spend, right? Which is a very common mindset for entrepreneurs. So now the new mindset is to look at our bank
Right.
account and says, I want to watch this account grow. So basically taking that mindset of making money and transfer it over here to watching our bank account grow. Okay. So anytime you come into spending money, you look, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. If I spent this money, is it going to increase my bank account or is it going to decrease my bank account? And if I don't see, that it's going to increase my bank account, like if I'm not 100% sure, then I'm going to double think what I'm spending on. And you might even give yourself a thing, like, for example, every week your bank account has to grow. It can't be less than last week.
I like that.
Okay. And so if if you run into something where you're like, well, but I have to pay I have to pay my rent this week. And if I pay my rent, that means that my bank account is going to drop by $1,000 this week. I have to find something. I don't know what it is, but something to put in that's more than $1,000 to to cover for my rent for the week. Okay. And so that's going to start to force you to think ahead of time. Because that week comes every single month. And so I say, from now until the rest of my coaching with you, let's just play that game. The game called, there's no week that goes by that your bank account doesn't increase. I don't care if it's by $1, it's irrelevant, but it's not going to go down or stay the same.
I see. Definitely. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So each week when we talk, you just tell me, it's like, how much it increased this week. Right. So that income, but the bulk of that income is going to come from doing the actual deals.
Right.
But if you're running short on money and you have to do a co-wholesaling where you're selling someone else's deal, you might do that. You might, I mean, there has been time, dude, that I had to take, a smaller assignment fee just so that way I can achieve my goal for that week than taking a high assignment fee that wait until a week or 2 weeks later.
I like that, Tim. Dang.
Yeah. And when you have to do that, it's a tough one. It's like, I was like, but like, I can make more if I just wait 2 weeks. Like, nope. This is your goal for this week, and you just gotta achieve your goal for this week. Like, you can't push it off.
Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, nowadays, like, and after a while, you can afford to, like, if it makes sense, but you find different ways, to make up for it, so that way, that deal can make more money and wait another couple weeks. And, so for example, if I have to decide, okay, either I take a 5,000 assignment and I get it this week, or or I take a $10,000 assignment, but I have to wait 3 weeks. Well, can I do another deal that I can close this week?
Right.
Or something else that would make me the money this week while I'm waiting for this other one.
Mhm, mhm.
And I mean, it's but yeah, I mean, if you can just discipline yourself, and it's a practice. There's nobody in the world has it all perfect.
Mhm, mhm.
Right. And so just know it's a practice, to do. uh yeah, so let's just do that. So that's going to be the game that you and I are going to play,
Cool.
is that your bank account has to increase each week, not go down.
I like that.
So, so you anticipate, so at a minimum, however many more weeks that you and I still have together until you do your third deal there, um, at a minimum, just make sure those weeks you're going to have an increase. And so hopefully by the time we done, the deals that we need to do, that would already become a habit for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I got one coming now, so
Good.
that's that's exciting for me.
Yeah.
Uh,
So were you able to get the earnest money last week?
yeah. So I was able to pick up earnest money. I just was able to get earnest money today. I had went and sent someone to get it, but they didn't get there in time. So
Got
I
you.
got earnest money. Uh, but now I've deposited so I could resend out earnest money. I sent out a check to the title company today. So that deal that'll come in. So I know I think on that deal, so I still owe like 2,500 or 22,000, something like that to you. So it'll be the half and the 2,500.
Um, I don't think it was 25. Yeah, but let me go back. But yes, that's what we talked about last time. But I don't think it was 25.
It might
Uh,
not have been. I know we came up with something where I maybe do an extra deal or something uh, that we split.
yeah,
So whatever it is, we'll figure it out. But yeah, that'll
right.
be five, at least. That's at least five. We'll split this deal. That'll be great for me. Uh, and then I'm really pushing to do another deal this week. I don't know where it's gonna come from, but hey, I got leads. I got VAs calling. I got other people calling. So I'm really pushing to try to do another deal this week. And like you say, the goal is every week to increase the bank account. However, I got to do that, whether co-wholesaling or whatever.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Um. Okay. So yeah. So yeah. We'll figure. Yeah. We'll figure that out. Um. So what am I thinking? I was trying to say something and I forgot. But anyways, all right. So what other help do you need for this week? Yeah.
I was gonna ask. I had like three questions. I was gonna ask, and we kind of covered that. Kind of, maybe not. First question was fastest way for me to do a deal this week. Today being Monday, what would you say the fastest way for me to perhaps try to get a deal under contract this week? My second question was going to be about um, I decided on the subject two deals that I had that I told you about. On one of them, I partnered with an investor and he's going to put all the money up, and I'm just only going to share in 25% of the monthly and 25% of the back end equity. I was going to ask you, what do you think about, that profit split? And then the third question was, um, I sent one of the deals to another investor, and he wants to partner with me, and I find the deals, get him under contract, and then he has a big owner finance. You may even know him. His name is Grant, he has the Owner Finance Academy here in Dallas, but he has the company with the sales team and they have buyers. And he's like, you bring the deals, get them under contract, and we do a 50-50 split on whatever the expenses are and whatever the cost is to get it. But then we also share in the down payment and the monthly and in the back end equity. And you don't have to basically like stress and bust your ass trying to find buyers for these houses in that limited time frame that I have before foreclosure, and things of
Right.
that nature.
All right, so let's attack one question at a time. So the shoot, now I don't remember the first question. The fastest way to do the deal.
Fastest way to do a deal, yeah.
Right.
This week.
The fastest way I know is co-wholesaling.
All right,
Okay. I mean, especially when you have a good buyer, when you have some specialized buyer that you might think that that others might not have, right?
Okay.
Like even this owner financing person as an example. Well, what if you go to all these other wholesalers and see who has a deal right now that owner financing might be a better strategy for.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And yeah, like, because a lot of times these wholesalers are not even thinking about that.
Yeah, no, Tim, I've been running into so many wholesalers. You told me to call them. Like, none of them really know about owner finance or subject to. They don't even consider it. I've even been on a couple of appointments with guys, and how they make their offers and what they do, is totally different. And I offer like terms, and I offer cash when I'm on a point.
Right. So yeah, exactly. So that so that can so I say look at all the wholesale deals and see, like, is there another way to make money on this deal other than selling it for cash, right? Or it could be selling it for cash, but you might have some specialized buyer that they might not have.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. I have a buyer here in town that as long as the property, as long as he can be all in on the property, purchase price, rehab, everything, 70,000 or less, he'll buy as many from me as possible, and he can close as soon as the title's clear. Because he sells them all on the financing on the back end.
Oh, I see.
Okay. And so a lot of people don't have access to that type of buyer, right? And so by knowing that, it doesn't matter. Like, for example, he could be buying the deal at 80%, and it won't matter as long as all the numbers match up to what he needs it to be. Right. So that's a very specialized buyer. And then I have another buyer that he focused more on the higher end market. So he likes properties that are over 300,000, and he pays cash and he does everything. So he doesn't have a loan or anything. So the way he looks at, if he can net 50,000 on a deal, he'll do it. So it doesn't have to fit the 70% formula. Right? So that's the thing. Like, when you know your buyers well, you have these sort of niche buyers that other wholesalers might not have. And so by scouting out their properties to match them with your niche buyers, that's a really fast way to make some money.
Okay.
So I would say, that's, I would say co-wholesaling. Owner financing is another really, another easy one, and I'm a little bit reluctant to share this one, is because I think it might be more of a distraction for you. But yeah, like I used to get sellers to agree to a lease option, and then that same weekend I put out like 100 bandit signs. And I do an open house, and then I find a buyer with the most down payment, and then I'll put them into that house. Okay, and I'm just the money that I'm making is from that assignment, and I just hook the buyer and the seller together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, um, so that's another strategy. That's that can happen pretty fast, but it's a lot of work to put out 100 signs and do a big open house.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I just did my first one of those here recently, so yeah, I understand what you mean by the work. Mm-hmm.
all right. So yeah. So those are definitely two strategies. I would do. I think that it'll be better if you think of it like this: how can I line up to make sure that I have at least one deal closed every week?
Mm-hmm.
So that way you start preparing ahead of time. Because it's gonna take you, you know, 2-3 months to build up that kind of momentum, making sure that because the marketing that you do now, is meant for you to close on and get paid from it 3 months from now. So like you just gotta ramp up your pipeline. But so that's an expansion of the question that you asked.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but just to keep the answer simple, co-wholesaling would be the fastest way.
Okay. Got it.
The second question, what was that again?
But I just really wanted your opinion on the 25% profit split. I brought the deal, you
Who's getting
know,
the 25%?
I am.
You're getting the 25%. You
Right.
bought the
And you'll put
deal,
it
they
all.
brought the money. Can you
Yeah,
find someone that would do a 50-50 instead?
where they put up the money but share 50% of the profit with me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps I brought it to this guy and he moved on it, and you know, since he negotiated me down since I don't have any cash to bring to the deal, so um,
Yeah, but I mean,
perhaps. Uh,
yeah. So in the future, you know, um, and it has to do with how quick you have to move on the deal too. But in the future, you just tell them this. You just say, okay, that's great, but you know, let me get back with you on it because this is how it works for me. I have different investors that want different amounts. Some of them just want a straight, interest only for 10%. Some of them want, 25% of the deal. Some of them want 50% of the deal. And in case like you, where you want 75% of the deal, I, I'm not saying no to you, but what I am gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can source the money at a less amount, um, and if I can, then I'll go with that person first. So the cheaper the money, the more that I'm gonna put that money to work, and the priority in which I put that money to work.
mhm.
And so yeah, I can, if I can't find anyone else for 50%, I'll circle back with you. Or if you're willing to do 50%, we can do it now.
I see. Absolutely. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, and that's with the understanding that they're gonna put out all the money,
Hmm.
right? They put up the money, you put up the sweat equity, and you guys split the profit.
Absolutely. I agree. That's why I wanted to ask.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's all negotiation. And like one of the things that that lenders that some lenders they don't understand, or even buyers don't understand. Like a lot of buyers tells me, damn Tim, you guys make like 10, 15, $20,000 wholesale fee. I mean, that's a lot of money. I go, yes, it is. And do you know how much it costs us to get
Right.
a deal? Right? I tell them it's like at a minimum, it costs us $3,000 just in marketing to get a deal. Right? And that doesn't even count for, salary, commission, overhead that we have for our business.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, um, if you're willing to put up all that risk of spending, marketing dollars and possibly never get any return on that marketing dollars, then by all means do your own marketing so you can know like what the true cost of these deals. Versus I bring you a deal that already hit your criteria, that already meet your criteria, with you not having to put any risk into the deal. So I tell them, look, it's the difference between my risk and your risk is that your risk is on the back end, right? Your risk is like in being able to repair it cheaply, quickly, and get it sold. Versus but it's a much more calculated risk. Versus my risk is all on the front end, and there are times when we spend money in marketing and get zero deals from it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's how I explain it to my buyers, so that way they shut up about my fee.
Oh, that's great. Absolutely.
um, and yeah, and so that's pretty much the same kind of conversation that you have to have with these money partners.
Mm-hmm.
You tell them, it's like, you might think that this deal doesn't cost me any money to do, but do you know that I pay my employees to help me find these deals, and whether or not I do any deals, I have that cost,
Yeah.
right? And so it's not free, and yeah, and so because of that, if you're willing to do 50%, I'll do it. But I mean, yeah, 25% doesn't even cover for my overhead.
Right. Not at all.
Yeah. So it's just and that's a great mindset shift for you, because you're thinking, oh yeah, I don't have any money to put into these deals. Well, heck, it's because I already spent my money to find a damn deal.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have to realize your true cost, so that way you can communicate that.
Mm-hmm.
Your third question was.
And yeah, it was basically almost the same. I had another guy who, so now after you said that, he's basically the same as the other investor I'm partnering with, but he wanted to me to find the deal, me to bring the deal to him, and then we go 50-50 on the deal. Uh, we've had this conversation. It's basically I'll be putting in more because I'll find the deal, bring the deal to him, and then put up 50% of what it's going to take to repair the house and, find the buyer, market for the buyer, and then split the, I guess, down payment monthly and the back end equity.
Yeah.
And almost the same. And then when I told him, I wasn't prepared to do that financially, he was like, well, you can just give them to me and I'll give you an assignment fee until you're able to build up enough where you can do that. But having this conversation, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll be doing more.
Right. So here's your homework, okay? Your homework is talk to some wholesalers and find out, hey guys, on average, what is your cost per deal right now? Cost in marketing to get a deal. Okay. And you're gonna find out very soon. It's for your market, it's probably somewhere between $3,000 to $6,000.
Okay.
Okay. So then you can use that in your negotiations. Like, dude, that's a great offer. And do you know that on average it costs us like $3,000 to $6,000 a deal in marketing just to get a deal? Right? So how do we get reimbursed for that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you know, and I mean, you know, and so yeah, a lot of these people, like, they don't know that. They don't, if they're not if they're not a wholesaler, if they're not out there actively scouting out deals, they don't realize the marketing costs and the overhead that it takes to get these deals. And it's our job to educate them. And if they don't believe you, say, look, go call any wholesaler and ask them. Not some mom and pop, you know, not some wholesaler that does a deal once a year. No, find a high volume wholesaler that consistently do deals every single month, that like actually have a wholesaling business, and ask them what the average cost per deal, marketing per deal is. And they'll and you know that it's you know, it's substantial. It's not a small amount.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, I would love to find all the free deals out there and bring them all to you to do this kind of split with you. But shoot, life doesn't work like that.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So yeah, you just gotta explain. You know, you gotta like bitch slap them a little bit.
Yeah, I see. That's what you got to do, and it works in other, I guess, relationships or other areas. I never thought about it. I don't have the experience or the knowledge to bring it to them like that. Now I'm just like, all right, I got these deals on the finance that didn't work. I got to make some money off them some way, and I've decided to accept less, you know,
Right.
for it.
Yeah. You know, yeah. I mean, there might be times when you do have to accept less because even after you explain it to them, you just don't have a better offer, you know, but you know, yeah, always remember educate, just like we do with our sellers. You know, we get a lower price by educating our sellers,
Absolutely.
you know.
Right.
So it works the same way with, yeah. And you know, and like, you have to also get to the value as a wholesaler, dude. We're the ones with the product,
Right.
right? We're the ones with the supplies. It's worth a lot of money. Without us wholesalers, these guys don't have any deals to buy, don't have deals to fund. And so we're a very important part of the supply chain.
Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah. And you know, and yeah, and if, you know, if anyone says, well, you know, so and so get their deals for free, it's like, great, that's called luck.
Mm,
Not a business.
right. That's so true. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right, any other questions?
Oh, that's it.
All right, I'm gonna, yeah, I'm just gonna click on share screen real quick just so I can have this as a video. uh but all right, well, cool. So yeah, so go out there, you know, look at, you know, yeah, look at the co-wholesaling, get a deal done. um, Check how much money is in your accounts right now. The next time we talk, make sure you let me know how much it increased by,
Okay.
and we'll go from there.
All right. Perfect. Sounds
All right,
awesome.
all right, buddy.
All
Have
right,
a good
Tim.
one.
Thanks a lot.
No problem. All right, bye.